Hello, my friends. This time I decided to, rather than posting one video, half in Spanish and half in English, uh, I'm going to try doing it one in Spanish and one in English. Okay, it's better for archive purposes, I think. Well, what I wanted to talk about today is I think quite important and a little bit different. Uh, when all this pandemic started, when all this pandemonium started, I wrote in my blog, the times that I could still write. I wrote in my blog about the phases of bereavement that were proposed by Dr. Margareth Kübler-Ross, the Swiss psychiatrist. I had added during the times of the HIV crisis, I have added some phases, and I came up with something that in Spanish was called NIDRASE, which is an acronym, and which would be translated into denial, rage, depression, bargaining, acceptance, conciliation, and hope. Those are it includes the four phases that Dr. Kübler-Ross had proposed, and three more that I thought were important. But now with COVID, my son Vadim, my son is a psychiatrist, we have been talking professionally, from a professional point of view, and a little bit personal, but professional, about some things that we have noticed in this situation. Here in Panama, as in the States and all over the world, whenever there has been or a celebration, national celebration of some sort is approaching, the health authorities have always said, don't go anywhere, don't visit anyone. For Thanksgiving, for example, in the States, don't go visit your family for Thanksgiving, don't travel. Well, this year was a boom in traveling, and well, you can see how the numbers of COVID have gone way high. They're just skyrocketing in the States. The same thing happened here in Panama. Well, we're just barely 4 million inhabitants, but still, the percentage of people coming down with COVID has been high lately. We have had several very close friends, neighbors, family members who have come down with COVID. Some have passed on, some have recovered. We just had a recent case of someone very close to us. I remember one afternoon, Vadim came over to me and said, "Hey, Dad, so and so has COVID, and he has just come over without wearing a mask to visit his mom and dad." And I just said, "Oh my God." How could he do that? He's not an ignorant person. He knows all the thing that should and should not be done. How could he? His parents are older than I am, and they're very frail and oh well. Short story. Less than a week after that, both old folks were in the hospital, very, 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 very ill. They pulled through. They pulled through. That was amazing. But the the worry that we had was, but it could sing. God, I hope uh, none of the Teals, we call all these, all they call us old folks. Everyone calls us Teals, even though we are not. Teals means uncle, just like in Asia. So we hope, he said, well, I hope none of the Teals uh, dies from this because that's going to destroy the kid because he knows that he brought the illness to his parents' home. And Dad, could you imagine that I make you sick and you die? I couldn't live with that. Of course, he would be able to live with that. It would be very, very difficult. Then, a week after that, or a little bit over a week after that, I was called, and this was a very, very, very close friend of the family and a relative. And for New Year's, apparently she went to visit one of her siblings, and someone, I don't know how it was, someone over there apparently had COVID, or she thought that what she felt was just a little, perhaps a flu, or just the beginning of a flu or something. But anyway, a few days after that, everyone started coming down with COVID, and of course, nothing happened with the young ones, but our friend did pass away. So, can you imagine in a normal person, feeling guilt is normal. A sociopath doesn't feel any guilt, but a normal person does feel guilt. And okay, the thing is, well, what to do with this? Well, I have a few recommendations. The main thing is to share your feelings. This can be with a close friend or perhaps a relative, but someone you don't feel ashamed more than necessary. Someone close enough, someone that has a good ear, where you can just spill everything out and say anything you want. If you feel that you don't have that level of trust with someone, then go to a therapist. But this has to be shared. It has to come out. If it doesn't come out, it's something that is going to be hammering you in your head and your heart and in your mind. You're guilty. Fulanito, as we say over here, or Fulanita died because of you. Blah 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 blah. You should have. You make up a whole story, and I've known of cases of people who have committed suicide because they just couldn't live with the guilt. And this is something that can be avoided. Something that is also recommended, and I would definitely recommend it, is do some work helping people. we have here in Panama a very good example. We have a foundation, Piero Martinez de Laos. This was a little kid who found a gun that belonged to perhaps his parents, I don't know. Found the gun, started to play with it, and wham! The shot was released and it killed him. So his mom made this foundation that it has the name of the child. They have volunteers, well trained. In fact, after Amita died, I felt guilty because I had helped many people with HIV. I had helped them to die. There's a process. But I couldn't do that with Amita because her brain was gone. And I felt so guilty because I couldn't do anything. Because I didn't do what I thought I would do if the time came and I couldn't. I felt very guilty. So I went to this foundation and they really helped me. There was an exercise that we went through and that helped very much. It's called the empty chair. The psychologist who had been my pupil many years ago said, well, try the empty chair. Sit in front of an empty chair. Imagine that Amita is there and talk to her. Tell her how you feel, and why you feel the way you feel. And that was almost miraculous. Well, so yes, something can be done, but the purpose today is for you to identify that there is the possibility of going through guilt if by any circumstance you feel that due to your actions your friend or your neighbor or your relative became infected and died. Okay? This has been a heavy subject, but it's necessary. Okay. I will try to keep on doing these videos in this fashion, in English and in Spanish. Okay? Well, see you next time. Bye-bye. Take care. Please take care, okay?